So folks, real quick, before she gets up here, I just wanted to say some words. Our guest speaker tonight is Tatyana Semyrog. She's running for the 6th District of Plymouth as the state representative. I just wanted to say a few words about her before she comes up here. Tatyana is probably one of the strongest, bravest women I've ever met. Okay, she's been through a lot throughout her life. She was a refugee from the Soviet Union, came here to the United States with her family, you know, and lived in the basement of a church out in Springfield, Massachusetts. And now she's here to try to basically make a change for the better in this state. She's running against Josh Cutler, okay? And Tatyana, coming from that part of the world and that society of a socialist, communist country, coming here, okay, to try to make a change because she's seeing what's happening to our country, okay? So everyone, if you could just listen to what she has to say and hopefully vote for her this coming election so that we can try to make a change in our community, that would be excellent, okay? And I won't take away any of her thunder. Without further ado, Tatyana Semyrog.
Thank you very much, Tony, for such a nice introduction. It's so good to be here with you guys. It's my first time here speaking to such a large group at a gun range. I am completely grateful for this invitation. So, as Tony said, yeah, I could see the writing on the wall. I've seen this before, not personally, but through my ancestors and what they endured in the former Soviet Union, where my great-grandfather was severely persecuted. He suffered for 20 years in the gulags, which are labor camps in Siberia, when he was captured by the KGB for the horrible crime of having faith in God and having a Bible in his home. His brothers were executed on the spot while he was given 20 years in the gulags. His wife and 7 children were denied housing and left to roam the streets in a tiny Siberian village until they could dig out a bunker in the ground, and in this bunker they lived for 7 years. 4 children died of malnutrition. So our basic rights to assemble, free speech, owning protection for ourselves and our families. What is happening now today, here in this country, in our state, we see these attacks and they remind me too much of what my family has endured in the former Soviet Union. It scares me. I'm being told, Tony, that I'm courageous, but honestly, I am more afraid of what is coming and not doing anything about it, not speaking out, not standing up. I think for far too long, good people of this state and a lot of people in this country have just sat back and watched and been silent, hoping that, oh, if we just remain quiet and just have some patience, this oppression will go away. We will once again be able to speak our mind and our political views. No, as far as I can see, year after year, we're able to speak our mind less and less. I could see it even with my own self, even with my daughter, who's afraid to being bullied in school because her mother is a conservative Republican. And that just reminds me too much of when I was oppressed in the former Soviet Union for not wearing the Lenin star on my lapel or the Lenin red handkerchief. And the teacher would beat my brothers for not bowing down to the religion of communism. 32 years ago, my parents took us, 8 children, ages 11 and less, and brought us here to America. Massachusetts, for me, Springfield, Massachusetts, was the first state and city where I breathe the air of freedom. I call this state the cradle of liberty. For me, just like for the Pilgrims many centuries ago, this truly is, this beautiful state, this Commonwealth, is my cradle of liberty. I remember watching the churches on every corner in Springfield and saying, wow, you could just pray and sing to God and no one will persecute you and no one will run you off the street and no one will imprison you. This is amazing. Yes, Tony, you're right. We did live in a basement of a church, but that basement of a church felt like a castle to me because the amount of goods that were gifted to us. I held my very first doll because somebody donated it to us. The good, wonderful American people found out about our arrival and gave us so many bags of clothing, food, toys. We even got a couch. And let me tell you, there's no connection that I have to my former birth country. It took away everything from me. It took away my freedoms from my ancestors, to my father who couldn't go to school because of his higher education, because of his refusal to become part of the Communist Party. Oh, Vera, that's my little girl losing my flyers. She was going to give them out to each one of you. Sorry about that. It's okay, Vera. It's okay, sweet girl. You're doing great, my love. Yeah. There you go. Thank you for helping her. Yeah. It was this country that gave me everything, while my birth country took everything away. This country gave me the opportunity to pursue the American dream. This country gave me an opportunity to go to college. I then ended up working for several congressional members, a U.S. representative, and 2 U.S. senators. So I was able to achieve my American dream. And you know, I find that it is my time that I want to give back to this country. I find that I cannot sit anymore. Yes, I've gone through tragedy. I lost my husband 4 years ago in a car accident. I also had breast cancer the same week I was diagnosed, 6 days before his death. Yes, all of that happened to me. But, you know, I find that I cannot keep quiet. I find that I want to fight to preserve this American dream that was given to me and that I appreciate, and that I know how life is without that American dream. And I want to fight to preserve it for my 3 little girls. Because if we don't fight, believe me, it will go away. It will be taken away from us. These people who are attacking our freedoms, who are now attacking our police officers. My opponent just voted to defund the police. These people, they will not stop. We think, oh, one day they will go away and just everything will be okay. They will not. I assure you they will not. I have studied this over and over again. They start by indoctrinating our children. They take away our guns. Why do you think we are, the Second Amendment is such a issue for them? They hate it. They wish they could change the Constitution and take away the Second Amendment from us. They're attacking our religion. They're starting to burn our churches. Look at what happened in Boston, where a church was vandalized and the statue of Mary was burned. That is, I cannot believe this is my America 32 years later, after I came here in 1988. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. And it scares me. And yes, I'm running because I'm afraid of what's coming. And I want to inspire all of you to rise up and say, we need to fight. We can't remain quiet anymore. We need to study who's running for office very diligently and hold them accountable for every vote. And if you don't like how they vote, we need to vote for someone else. We need to nurture and raise up great candidates out of our districts, out of our communities that will run to protect our rights. Because if we don't protect them, they will be taken away from us. The other side is more loud, it is more violent, it is filled with hate, and we need to rise up against it with love. Love for our country, for our faith, for our families, for our community, for this amazing Commonwealth of Massachusetts and for the great district that is the 6th Plymouth district of Duxbury, Hanson, and Pembroke. What else am I missing, Tony? Greg? I did not prepare a speech, I'm sorry. He said just speak from your heart. And sometimes speaking from the heart means that I forget to say some things. I would love to stay a little longer and mingle and talk with you some more, but that's all. Please help me out by hosting a lawn sign. If you like what you hear and you want to support me, I am looking to place lawn signs all over the district in Pembroke, Duxbury, and Hanson. Spread the word. Let's get educated. Let's let people know that my opponent voted to defund the police. You guys, the Second Amendment is the last stop. It is the very last stop. If we don't protect the Second Amendment, this country will be finished. I assure you of that. We saw that in Nazi Germany. We saw that with the Bolsheviks. I guarantee you that I will fight for you, for the Second Amendment right, as hard as I would fight for the most important right that we can have, and that is to protect ourselves from tyranny. Thank you for your attention. God bless you. God bless Massachusetts and this great district. Thank you.